welcome to the Ask the Wizards. And today it's just me and Dave because it's Good Friday and we decided to record anyway. That's
We're
how
like,
we
are you
roll.
good? I'm good. I'm
I'm real
good.
good.
Good Friday.
So we're going to go ahead and answer the questions. If anybody joins while we're going, that's great. Otherwise, you will get to watch this later. So, Dave, what do we got?
So, first question is from Kevin Antrobus. Wizards, how is AI impacting search engine optimization? Is it dead? Is it dying? Can you do anything to improve your search results in this current world? How does branding advertising impact AI-based search results? And do we need to write and manage a radio branding campaign differently now? Does it even matter?
It does matter, but you don't need to do anything differently if you were listening to the Wizard of Ads the whole time. So that's the short version. The too long didn't read version is yes, it matters, but you only need to make changes if before you were writing crap and doing bad advertising and trying to game the system.
Yeah.
So it turns out that from everybody, and I'm not one of the experts on this, but Dave and I have a bunch of partners who've been digging in very seriously to this. And what they're finding is that it's rewarding good writing, human writing, good content, unique and interesting content. Now, the one thing I would say, which by the way is all the ads that you guys have been writing, the things that stand out that don't sound like everybody else. If all of your I fix things or I do HVAC repair sounds like every other website for HVAC repair, then yeah, that's going to be a problem for you. But the one thing that has been true, this is one little small thing, very small.
Hmm.
If you can create answers on your website to the most frequently asked questions that everyone is asking and then answer them in a human voice and not a cut and paste of random, yeah, we also repair. AI really likes that. AI really, because AI is trying to pretend to be a person answering questions.
Hmm.
And it turns out that AI likes to strip copy from websites that makes it sound like it's answering the question.
Yeah.
And it'll link to you for those kinds of things. That's the only change I would say is FAQs just got very helpful,
Hmm.
but right now it's just rewarding good content and unique
Yeah,
content.
keep FAQs, blog posts, all the things that have been good for SEO forever. Um,
Still are.
don't write them like SEO content, which was never a good idea.
Right.
Write them as human content. Even if you have AI help you write it as human content, make sure it's real. Make sure it's legitimate answers to legitimate questions. And if like it's going to be especially important for businesses that aren't relying on mass media because they're still doing category style research. People are still looking if they can't think of somebody that pops into their head, they're going to start looking for category type searches, and the websites that are going to get recommended by AI are the websites that do a good job of answering the search questions, the search queries.
Yeah,
So
that's real. So simple is don't
not
change
much has
anything
really
because
changed.
you guys have been doing it well already.
Yeah.
But FAQs were helpful.
And it's always worth talking about. And the thing is, this AI changes every day. Like it's moving so fast. Um, so it's good to ask it. It's good to keep asking it.
Just
Thanks,
keep
Kevin.
doing the same good things for now.
Nick Kudelis and Paul Roberts uh, uh, coordinated to ask this question.
All right.
We've all heard the statistic that at any given point, only about 1 to 3% of the population is looking for your particular product or service, usually on any given day, with the exception of consumables like food and gas. Is there a formula or statistic that goes beyond that? For example, after 30, 60, 180 days, what does that percentage look like? And is there a way we can come up with that formula consistently? We're trying to give what the potential need would be, say, 6 months in, so that after consistently marketing for that time, they would have share in the marketing to the percent that need this product or the total listening audience. Trying to explain to clients that advertising today isn't the benefit for today, but for the long term. And even though they may be talking to the 97% that don't need their product that day, the benefit over the longer time shows what?
Man, I have two big thoughts on this. But answer just the math one first. I think the answer is no, it's not possible to come up with that number. I mean, you can come up, look, you can come up with a number, but it will be made up.
Yeah.
At a
Um,
certain level, it will still be guessing, right? And so to answer the question as asked Nick and Paul, no, you can't come up with that number if you want it to be real. If you want an educated guess, sure. But that's like economics people trying to forecast what's going to happen at the end of 2027. They can come up with a number. How often are economists right? I
yeah.
mean, not as much as they're wrong, right? So there it's now I'm going to answer the actual behind the question, which is this is the wrong path to go down.
Yeah.
The moment you've let them suck you into giving them the exact percentage that they demand from you in order to prove that your marketing works, you're working for the wrong client and you're in the wrong conversation. If somebody needs that level of certainty in an uncertain world, then they're not your people. And I know that's not fun when you don't get to choose your clients,
Hmm.
but you're never going to win that argument because even if you do 6 weeks of work to try to come up with statistics that you think are the most accurate of the statistics, the odds that they're true for your client in that market in that moment are almost zero. And as soon as you're off by, a couple of points, they're going to be like, ha ha, you're full of shit.
Right, right.
And you're going to deserve it because you let them take you there, right? Never argue. Never was it, never play chess with a pigeon.
Uh-huh.
So Dave, thoughts?
Um, my take is this is actually a good question for AI. This is actually something that it can be helpful
But
with.
it's going to make it up. It's going to make
It
up the
may,
answer.
if you make sure you tell it to cite its sources, but here's the case I'm making. First, it's not 1 to 3% of the population. It's you're not taking into account uh, product purchase cycles. So you can't generalize this across buying everything. Don't even try to do that. Yes, food is consumable. It's purchased more often, but for any particular client, you can ask AI. Say it's a mattress company. How often do people buy mattresses? Ask AI that. How many people are in this market? How many people should we expect to be buying mattresses each year in this market? And then you can divide that by 365 days, and you know how many people are on average buying mattresses on any given day.
But
And
again, it's still a made up number.
it's not
Eh,
it's less made up because
eh.
the AI can research uh, lots of different things, right?
But
Yeah,
like
like
I
I
said,
I couldn't
here's why I'm going
begin
to
to
keep pushing
answer for a
back, Dave.
category.
I'm going to keep pushing back because that thing that you just said to do is what puts sales managers in a position where they start haranguing their staff for, well, according to the math, you know, X many people should have bought something in March and we're only halfway there. So what the hell are you doing? And the answer was it was always a made up number divided by 12. That doesn't mean that it's going to land exactly in February, exactly in March. It
Right,
will be
right.
distributed and there's targets you can hit. I think that kind of thing is a fair question if you're trying to start a mattress business. And after you run the numbers, you realize you're going to sell only 500 mattresses, even if everyone buys one once a year. And that's not enough money for your business to work. But it's a bad idea for projecting if marketing is working.
Yeah, I don't see it as something that to see if marketing is working, but it's something to manage expectations.
Yeah.
We can't expect. I know in the one day marketing, uh, 1 year marketing class that Johnny and Craig do, they're talking about like on the extreme case is funeral services. How often do you buy funeral services? Once, and you're probably not even the decision maker, but you might be. But the key is always to be the company that people think of first and feel best about. And doing this kind of math can help you have more realistic expectations of what to actually expect from a marketing campaign. So if it's a really long product purchase cycle, don't expect people to just jump in and buy. I like to always say there's no ad you can write that can make somebody need a plumber today, but you can write an ad that can make somebody remember a plumber so that whatever this math is, when whatever the average person needs a plumber, they remember you and think of you first and call you and don't go searching for any old plumber. They search for you. So it's sort of like to me it's sort of like talking about the advertising performance equation. Yes, it's very useful. It's useful for showing relationships between numbers, but it's not useful as exact information. You'll never get it exact. You'll never get it exact, but you can get it
Mhm.
close enough to manage some expectations. That's all I'd look at it as. And I think um, I think AI is. I've actually used it for that, and I think it's been very helpful to just say, okay, well, we expect that there's going to be this many people that need a fence in this market because this many fences have sold,
Mhm.
and typically in a town like this is how many fences get bought and installed every year. So um, I don't know.
I mean, that's fine, and that's where its usefulness ends.
Yeah,
I'm gonna err on the side of like Nick, Paul, do not let yourself get drug down that path too far.
yeah,
Like all the only question I would answer with it is what Jave just said. If this is true and you end up owning 10% of market share, are you going to be able to run a business off of that number?
yeah,
Because the answer is no, then you're in the wrong town.
yeah. I'll buy that.
But other than that, we can't promise anything.
Jackie Boyenko writes, I've had some clients provide me with their own scripts even after we've gone through the creative process, or I have provided them with a script. It's obvious these scripts are AI generated, and in most cases, we have to revise them or fix them. How can we politely ask our clients to trust our creative process and that they don't have to provide us with these generic AI generated scripts? And Rosa Brittner asked a very similar question, so I thought I'd
Mhm.
kind of lump these together for our discussion, Daniel.
Yeah.
Um, how do the wizards deal with people making corrections at the script stage? They make small edits when they go ahead and produce, then the ad is produced, they have more edits, at times one to two. I make a point of mentioning, here are your scripts. This is the stage to make any and all of your edits. This is the time to let us know what you love and what you don't. And then I do end up with edits at the produce stage. It can be frustrating and annoying. I want to shake them or more. LOL. How do you handle these frustrating interactions? She says, I know it's probably something I'm doing, but help me be better, please, Rosa.
Oh man, Rosa. Th this is the pain of every ad writer on the entire planet. You are not alone and you're not doing anything uniquely wrong to you.
Yeah.
I can't when someone like Dave and I writes an ad, and I'm assuming you too, like I'll spend a week on it, minimum. Sometimes I'll play around it with my head for months, and then
Hmm.
I'll write it in about an hour because I've been dancing with it in my head for a couple of months, and then I'll make a couple of pass edits. And so when I hand it over, even to our team, and someone on our team goes like, I would change this sentence, my first inside reaction is like, oh, son of a bitch. I had that there for a reason. You know what I mean? And it's tough. I will tell you two things that you're probably already doing, and then I will tell you how I handle the exact same situation that you're in because you will still end up in this situation even after doing those two things. Thing one is have upfront discussions are always better than at the moment discussions. And so if you, and you've heard us say this, I'm sure you do this, if you sit down with a client and you say this, I mean, be really vulnerable. Look, guys, we're going to work for weeks on the right script for the right reasons. And then we're going to hear your story. And then we're going to send it to you and we're going to talk you through why we wrote every line. And then I need you to, at that point, your corrections are not, I think this is funnier or this is a better verb. Your corrections are, is there anything in here that you feel is misrepresenting you or isn't carrying the soul of the company in the way that you want to do it? And if there is, we'll change it. But other than that, these things are done thoughtfully. Whereas if you just send them, here's the scripts we worked on, then it feels light and no big deal for them to be like, I'm going to make some changes. And then if at that point you say, well, then it only feels defensive.
Yeah.
And so I would say up front, like, look, guys, you're going to be tempted to drop this into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is just going to feed you the same sounding stuff that everyone else that's using ChatGPT is getting, and sounding like everyone else is the exact thing we're trying to avoid.
Hmm.
And right now, before, maybe in the first year of ChatGPT, it made a whole bunch of crap writers better. But now it's making everybody using it sound like they're using ChatGPT. It's just the new same.
Yeah.
And if you spit out ChatGPT, you're just going to sound like everybody else again. And so our goal is to make you sound like you, a human, a thing that ChatGPT cannot pull off. So here, and then the thing that Dave always says, which he'll probably bring up here, which is like, don't just send scripts, schedule a Zoom call. Get on the Zoom call, bring up the script, and spend more time explaining the script than the script takes to read.
Yeah.
Every line, why it's there, why you put them in that order, the thoughtfulness behind every word, why you used that verb, just over explain the crap out of it. So when they start trying to change things, they realize it's a big deal,
Yeah.
right? And then, okay, I'll finish my other thing, but Dave, first your feedback, and then I'm going to finish with my final thing.
Well, I think you're right. Manage expectations up front. And I know you're not. I'm assuming you guys aren't charging anybody to write this copy, but I know a graphic designer who says that it's this price if you're the only approval needed. But for every level of approval needed, it's another level of price increase.
Yeah, and every
And
suggested edit, we add another
yeah, right.
$500.
Oh, now you've got to send it to your boss. Okay, that's you got to pay twice now.
Yeah.
Um, So that's hard to do if you're working for the radio station, but you can manage that by just telling the client, look, here's our process. I'm going to write you a script. We'll talk about it. I'm going to defend it. I'm going to tell you exactly why I chose every word and every phrase and why I wrote it the way I do. And if you have thoughts about it and want to take it in a different direction or change one or two things, let's do that before we produce it. Because after we produce it, we're not going to do that again, right? You're not charging for production, but you're not giving away infinite production either, right? And I think a client that wants you to redo a produced ad two or three times is probably being unreasonable, or you've got a production department that's not pulling their weight. Like do they what are they asking you to redo? Is the music too loud? Is the
Yeah.
inflection wrong? I don't know, but I think for both of these, the important thing is manage expectations up front. Tell them this is exactly how this is going to work. If you want me to write your ads for you, if you want to write your ads, or you want ChatGPT to write your ads and want me to just be an order taker, sure, you're going to sound just like everybody else.
Hmm.
And then over explain. Write
Always
write
over-communicate.
180 words for a script and 500 words to explain why you picked the 180 words that you did.
Yep, 100%. Now, here's how I'm going to end this. Is this the last question, Rosa?
I
For
don't,
Rosa?
Rosa? This is
Is
this
this the
is
last question?
no, there's one more.
Okay, we'll come back to it. So you're going to do all of that. You probably already have been. You're going to over-explain everything. You're going to work really hard. You're going to try to make it the best. The client's still going to make changes, inevitably. The good news the frustrating news is that what they usually end up doing is probably the lesser plan, right? This is like when you come up with this amazing strategy for a business and it's just a little too on the edge for them, so you water it down by 20% and then they're like, "Yeah, I can do that." Right? And what we have a saying here at the campus is the best idea for the marketing campaign is the best one the client will actually support. So if idea number one is the best plan, but the and idea number two is a little bit not as good, and idea number three is not quite as good, but I three is the one they get excited about. Idea number three is now idea number one, and it's your job to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the bad news is whatever they edit and change and like I could be cool with this, it's now your job to get on board.
Yeah.
And
Lead
it's
the lead the
infuriating.
bull, Lead the bull in the direction the bull wants to go. Right.
Yeah. It's infuriating
Yeah.
because you know in your head it's not as good and it would have been better if they hadn't touched it. Now, it's a humbling reality, but it is a reality. We are not that good. We are. We're good and we know what we're doing. But the odds that a single sentence change in a radio script alters the campaign from effective to not effective is almost zero. It might have a tiny percentile change difference, but the reality is, as highly as we think of our ad writing, them watering it down a little and making it not as good, as long as they're doing everything else right and your frequencies are right and it's kind of got the soul of the idea, you're probably gonna be fine. And that's a frustrating thing to acknowledge as the writer, that like they can water down your work and still be fine
Yeah.
and be able to say things like, "See, I told you." And you're like, "Damn it." But it's true. And so don't worry so much that those changes are going to completely defect. Now, on the other hand, I have had campaigns that were turned from truly effective to an absolute waste of money instantly with one change. But those are pretty rare.
Yeah.
Changing a couple sentences here and there or a word here or there, the odds that it has a material effect on the campaign are pretty low.
And I think just to add one more thing to it is rather than waste your emotional energy on these things, spend your emotional energy and time with the client, making sure they have the right reach and frequency. Make sure the schedule is really effective, and the copy will matter less.
Yeah.
So the less effective the schedule, the more important the copy. But the better the frequency, better the reach, you, you've got a chance to recover because you've got so much frequency, right? So
Yeah.
those all come into play. But all
Cool.
right, well, thanks for asking those.
Yeah.
This is from Glenn in Calgary. We're often recommending our ongoing clients to put their radio commercials on their website. How many of your
Yes.
clients do this? What are the advantages? What are the best way to put them on the website, like creating a media folder? Curious about your experience and perspective here.
100% do it. Love it. But do it in a way that's consumable by people on the internet. So like put it on YouTube and embed the YouTube. Make it
Mhm.
really easy for someone to run onto the website and hear the commercials, especially if they're really fun. I can't count how many times I've had a client or been driving and listened to a great radio ad. And I was like, oh, I wanted to show it to my friend, but I'm not going to sit in the car on the radio hoping it comes on. So I go to their website and it's nowhere. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn it. Uh, I really just wanted an easy way to show them that cool radio ad. So yeah, as soon as if you have control of the website, absolutely put every radio ad on the website in a form that is most consumable by web people on phones or on computers.
Yeah, and for example, Facebook it's really hard to put a radio ad on Facebook, so you have to turn it into a video, right?
Yep.
It can
Not
be a
hard.
simple video, it can just be the logo with the audio playing in the background. Better if
Yep.
it has something moving, but it can be that,
Yeah,
right?
I love
And
it. And uh if you can below that put the full script of the commercial,
yes, that
you
was my
just
next
got more
point.
reach and more frequency of the radio ad for the AI overlords.
Yeah, for the AI, you absolutely don't want just the audio. You want to make sure that the script is available for Google to what am I looking for? Index to read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, put them everywhere. Build a blog page onto your website that just has the weekly radio ad on or the monthly, whatever, and put back archives on it, right? Post date them and put
Yeah,
them all on it with all the scripts. You can't go
absolutely.
wrong. You can't go wrong.
No downside.
Yeah.
All right, we'll rock and roll. Sorry, I have a cold and I keep coughing this whole
Well,
time.
yeah. Why do you have why do you do that?
All right, since it was just me and Dave this time, there's no one to say goodbye to except for you who are watching later. Cheers to you, and we will see you next month. Send in your questions.